exploring how creativity evolves and the journey of artistic transformation. So, as creatives, it's easy to let work take over. How do you make sure to set boundaries between your artistic projects and personal time? Katie, do you want to tell us about it?
Man, that's a good one. I don't know that I really do have boundaries. Um, I guess I'm just more of a like, oh, well, I want to do this now, so I'm gonna go soak my feet in the bath, or drink my tea or coffee or something. Or it's like, oh, well, I think I want to watch a show now. So I guess I don't. I just kind of sort of naturally just like, okay, and next thing. And I don't really have a clear time set boundary, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It does.
Where Eve has what she was telling us before in the earlier episode. You have a whole day.
That's nice. I still
Yeah.
have to steal that.
Yeah.
I mean, to really try it out.
I need to work
Guilt-free
on that.
too. Before I
Yeah.
felt
Oh,
guilt, but now
definitely.
there's no guilt. It's just like the most amazing thing. But Leia, what about you? Are you do you find that you have boundaries for that balance?
Between artistic projects and personal time, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I was listening to Kate, how she first finishes a project and then starts another one. I actually work on several projects in parallel. I started doing that a while ago. I used to be like that with books too. Now I'm reading three different types of books a day on three
Mm-hmm.
different moments of time. It must have to do with my working against my control issues too. I realize that now telling you guys about it. But no, I work on several projects at once because it gives me the freedom to be able to actually do something even on days when I don't get to go in the studio and pour some resin, which can end up feeling a little bit frustrating because that's something I only get to do on certain days, especially because of my job. So it's kind of how I ended up switching and trying out so different kinds of mediums and working with different mediums because I now am able to find freedom in being creative, even though I might not be able to go in a specific setting to be able to do something. So that's probably where it came this with parallel projects stuff too. But I am very careful to take personal time. I have like you have the Thursday, I think it was, right, Eve, where you said you don't have to do anything at all. For me, something that I need to happen is going once a week at least to the horses and going riding on, and it's usually somewhere where I don't have phone reception, so I'm just gone for 2 hours somewhere. If anything happens, I people find me and we get home safely. But it's something I hold on to because I need it, and that's my personal time, and that's non-negotiable. So I guess I do have boundaries, even if I wasn't thinking I do, but I do have. How about you, Eve?
I do and I don't. I think depending on what's happening, but as soon as things start to get crazy, I find boundaries very quickly. And it depends too. Like if I'm working on personal projects, I have so many personal projects that I'm working on. And it's nice to have a lot at the one time. I don't think that means that you are not balancing things well, because sometimes I might have 5 minutes so I can work on a coloring book because it doesn't require thought. I can pick it up quickly and I can just continue on with an illustration. Versus the project that I have now, which is so much bigger, I need to commit time to that. And then when I've got projects that are for clients, I have that entire project mapped out in my calendar. The client can see it. Everything is just so organized. So I definitely find balance when it's for other people, which is very strange. I don't necessarily map out my projects that are personal, that can be done, they don't have to be done, things like that. But strangely, this personal project that I'm working on, I'm being really strict with my deadline. So I'm showing up when I don't want to show up to get it done. Um, so yeah, sometimes I have boundaries and I find balance, and other times I don't. And I mentioned in our last podcast that I am, because my life is not balanced in smaller increments, but it is over the year. And that even means like quality time with family, because I don't live with my family. I live in a country that's really, really hot, so we can't go outside a lot. So when I go home, I get to be outside that entire time for 3 months straight. I eat every meal outside. I'm outside all the time. So I had to change what I thought balance was, first of all. And then that, I think even just looking at balance in a different way, what is balanced? My first concept of balance came from feeding my kids and thinking they didn't have all of their vegetables today because they just refused to eat. I'm a bad mom. What am I going to do? And then I realized, oh, over the month, they actually have a really balanced breakfast. And I'd never, sorry, a food schedule. And I'd never really looked at what is balanced over a bigger time than a day. For some reason, I thought if my day wasn't balanced, I'm not finding balance. And then once I realized that, you know what, you've got busy periods, you've got quiet periods, and over a larger portion of time and a bigger picture perspective, I think that you have balance. And when you don't have balance or something's getting too crazy, I think that I rein it in and have more of a schedule, like putting things on my calendar and making sure that I get those things, but not too much as well. And then I also have a day off on Thursdays when I can. I take that day off where it's completely free. So, well, yeah. I guess that segues into, what does balance mean? And when you're juggling your creative pursuits in everyday life, does that definition of balance change for you, or is it rigid? I mean, I don't know. What does it look like for you, Leia?
Depending, it looks different depending on whether it's under the week or on the weekends. But during the week, I do have to balance it out with my profession, my job, which means I had to find a way to bring those two together to be able to still do something creative for me every day, even though I work pretty long hours, especially from Monday through Thursday. So that's a balance. It took some time for me to find. I've tried to work after I got home, to work, it sounds so bad, to be creative, to paint, to draw, something I've been thinking about the whole day when I got home. But I realized pretty quickly I was just simply too tired. And sometimes when I feel like I need it, I do some sketches in my lunch break. If it's a day where I have time to schedule a lunch break, or I'm in the office and not somewhere else. And for the last 2 years, I think, I finally found my balance by waking up a little bit earlier than I would need to, and doing then the stuff I have to get done for my art business, and scheduling a little bit of creative time for me. And that's the Friday afternoon, and usually on Saturdays too. That's my balance for now. But it will probably change again, and that's fine as long as it suits me. How about you, Kate?
Yeah, I'm a night owl to begin with, so whenever my day job ends, and then I somehow can make it to the gym too, and then I'll come back and I'll use the last couple hours before bed and try to do something creative. And a few years ago, I guess I decided to see if my work would let me work less hours. And so now I guess I technically have, a day off. I was like, oh yeah, that's true. And Friday is mine where I just, I go to the gym and usually am doing something creative as well, or, usually running errands or whatever I have to do. But yeah, so mine's usually at nighttime now. That's like in the mornings, I can't get my brain to do anything. And so at nighttime, it's like,
I used to be like that too, but it's been a while. Now it's the other way around.
Me too.
Well, maybe one day I'll get there.
That's
Probably
so
not
true.
though.
Because Katie will, like, whenever I message, it's like, what time zone are you on? Because you always seem to be awake. It doesn't matter what time zone I'm in. I'm like, she's awake. How is this possible? She's on the other side of the world.
I have that problem too. I sometimes message her at what's 4:30 a.m. for me, and she's up, but yeah, it's night for her.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, I can't help it. Well, is there a specific routine or habit that helps you stay grounded while managing a busy creative schedule?
Eat.
Yeah,
Oh
Eve.
my gosh.
So
Stay grounded.
you have just a busy schedule already.
Yeah, oh, that would probably just be exercising if I don't exercise. And I don't all the time, that's for sure, because sometimes I'm busy, but like they say, the busier you are, the more you need to do the thing that it is you need to do to relax. So I think that I'm happier if I'm really busy when I have a really tight schedule and I make sure that I get up and I do the things I say I'm going to do. But that doesn't happen all the time, and life gets really lifey, and things get chaotic, and then I'm behind and I'm always trying to catch up. And yeah, I think that if you can just be okay with that, and that you will catch up, and then that time will pass, that you've got lots of things on your plate. But mostly I just try not to overschedule myself. And that can't always be possible. So yeah, it's no magic trick or tip or anything like that, I'm afraid. Just going with the flow most of the time and trying to manage that time as best as possible. And I think sometimes when I am really busy, I am more intentional with my time, because I'll say, all right, for this hour, I'm going to sit and I'm not allowed to do any work. And I will actually sit and eat slowly. And, it's probably when I have more time that I faff about and I'm less organized and have less balance, which doesn't make sense really. But I think because you've got time to throw away some days that, yeah, I'm not as good as I should be. Yeah, but I don't know. What about you, Leia?
Yeah, that's true.
I have two things besides horse riding. Horse riding time I'm holding on to that help me keep me grounded. One is reading in my lunch break. That helps me just forget about what's happening in my workday, no matter what exactly is at the time. And I'm trying to keep the same sleep hours every day, even on weekends.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's, well, I have the luxury of not having little people depending on me, but it isn't always easy to do that, because you do want to spend time with the loved ones and you want to be present when something's happening. And I tend to go to sleep very early and wake up very early. No more all night time for me. But it does seem to keep me grounded and healthy and capable of getting all the things done I want to get done in my day when I manage to do that, to eat healthy and sleep enough.
Mm.
Mm.
Just taking some notes over here.
But yeah, not always easy. Can you share a moment when you realized you needed to prioritize your personal life alongside your art? This, how does it look for you, Katie?
Hmm, that's a good question.
Mm.
I don't know. That's hard. Um,
But did you ever have like a burnout or something
Yeah, that was going
at
to
any
be what
point?
I
Or yeah,
want to ask too.
yeah, that's
when life
probably true.
life kicks you
Did
in
you
the
have to
butt.
learn the hard way?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I definitely go in spurts where I like create, and then I'm like, okay, no more. I'll wait a little bit, and so then I'll take some time off, and then I'm like, okay, let's do it. And so, yeah, that's how I operate or have been operating for the past however long, which
Yeah.
isn't really the best way. I should probably do like little pieces here and there, but I'm like, yes, everything, cram it all at once. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
Well,
what about,
I'm the exact opposite.
oh,
So I need to work and decompress and work and decompress. And I actually managed to get myself into a burnout by pushing too hard, which is the hard way I learned that I need my personal time. That's why I was talking from experience when I asked if you learned that the hard way. I did. So now I'm trying not to make the same mistake again, to be more moderate. Of course, there are times every now and then when a project doesn't work the way I want it to work, and I end up doing the most of the work in the last few weeks or days before having to finish it up. But I definitely try to avoid ending up in such a situation again. What do you say, Eve? Does it sound familiar?
It does. And I learnt the hard way. And one of it comes back to having a business coach. And I ended up trying to do all the things. And I ended up setting goals and things that, I don't know, I look back at them now, I still have copies of the goals. I think, why was I even doing that? And I just got so busy and my head got so pulled in so many directions. And I was trying to do all the things. My kids were really little. And I was even making art. Like I was literally stirring a pot on the stove. And then while I had 5 minutes, I'd sit down and try and draw. So I never actually had time off. My personal life was hectic because you're managing three young kids. And then I'm trying to launch this art business. And I get it though, when you're launching your business and you're trying to start it, it can be crazy and you do work a lot because you're trying to get it off the ground. And
mm-hmm.
yeah, one small change that I made then is that if I only have 5 minutes, I will use that 5 minutes to sit down and just have that 5 minutes and I won't try and pack it in. And then I decided that it would be 10 minutes and that those 10 minutes I needed that break. And then I ended up doing an audit of the time because I realized that in my sessions, I think there was a disconnect because they thought I had the whole week. And I did a time audit and realized I actually had 11 hours. And that was it. That was all I had over the entire week, which might be a lot for some people and it might be really difficult for other people. And then I realized, oh, I have to change what I think I can accomplish because I wasn't checking things off the list and I was getting really frustrated and burnt out. So yeah, I think that was a moment when I realized I had to prioritize relaxing and not having to do things every second of every day. And then I became better at time management and setting aside time just for me to do those things that I wanted to do, whether it was reading the book or exercising, whatever. And then I just became clearer in my mind that I needed to just relax.
So that's how Eve's Thursdays came to be, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to have a whole day. So my 5 minutes
Nice.
has now turned into a whole day. I sort of had to ease into the guilt-free giving yourself time, but you
Great.
need it. And you need that to be creative as
Yep.
well. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess that moves us into how we approach time management of ensuring that both your art and personal life get the attention they deserve. Katie, do you find that you have a specific approach to time management?
No, that's not the best answer. Because I still am just like a go with the flow. I'm like, oh, okay, I have this time. And so I'm like, all right, well, it's time. I'm going to sit down and draw something or look up inspiration for something, or I'll pull out my goals that I've written down. And I'm like, okay, what can I do to head towards that goal? And that's how I go about it. I don't have an actual, fit.
I love that
structure.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that.
But what do you do then?
Me? We're back to the controlling issue, I guess. No, I mean, it does come from, like Eve said, when she did the time audit, she realized she only has these 11 hours where she can allow herself to be creative or work on stuff she wanted to work. So something similar happened to me, only I had to plan my creative time around my job. And then again, something we've been also talking about, being creative in season. So I had to bring these together and see where I find the pockets of time to actually be able to do what I want to do. So it became easier when I realized what it was depending upon. So then I just kind of took the approach I have to take every day in my job. I actually did project management and put down some time windows in my calendar. But I tried it. I have to say I overdid it at first. So I planned in my calendar these pockets of time and I started planning exactly what I want to do. That doesn't work that way. So creative time planning, it works up to the point where you, as a creative, try to be over creative in the sense that you plan what to do in that half an hour, or think, yes, I am going to get this and this done today. So yeah, no, not like that. But when I applied the same thing with a little bit more flexibility and freedom and said, okay, so I have an hour and a half or 2 hours today to get things done. What are my priorities? What would I like to do? How do I bring them together? Do I have time to get a task of each done, or do I have to do this or that? And it worked better, but I do need the structure. So that's why I say I really do love the way you do it, Katie, but I think for me, for now, this works better. It seems to bring better results anyway. Maybe we'll change at some point. I'll become the night owl again and you the project manager, and we'll see what gets out of that. So
But I think that's important to note, is that balance, even the way you approach time management, there's no one size fits all.
yeah,
And you need to figure
definitely.
it out what that is for you, but finding out what other people do can always help you either have the permission to try other stuff. You know how quite often you wait for permission, like, oh, I have to
Yep.
dress for work and I have to have this done and I have to have 5 goals and I have to achieve it every day. And then it's like, I realized I couldn't have any time constraint attached to, I couldn't have like a calendar that said Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I couldn't do that because guaranteed as soon as I took in a project where they had a finite deadline, my kids would get sick. We would end up having to travel somewhere or do something. I know, boo-hoo, but there was always an upset to the schedule that meant that I couldn't achieve these things in the time that was said or that was needed, except obviously if it was a client that I was working for. So I ended up just having 3 tasks that were rolling tasks. And when they got done, I would replace that with another one at the bottom of the list. And so every day I would just transfer onto that next day. These were the 3 things, but they didn't have to get done that day. I could work on them. And sometimes that would just be enough if I felt like I'd worked on them. And that took the pressure off. Because I think when you put these constraints around yourself, for me, my schedule is so unpredictable in the personal life that having a scheduled art business was really difficult to combine. So they both had to flow together and fit in with each other. Once the kids started school full time, that made a big difference to my day in terms of being able to have structure. But before that, no way. There's no way. But I still keep the 3 rolling tasks going because I can't. Because it is still unpredictable, because you've got kids. Your schedule comes last. It's the husband that, if you're in that particular setup in your life, which is what I'm in, my schedule is the one that needs to be the most flexible. And that's okay for me. Yeah.
I love it how, again, we have 3 different versions because we
For
are
the same end
different with
goal.
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Nice. It's reassuring that it doesn't have to look a certain way.
Yeah, and then it can change too, depending
Yep.
on what's coming your way. Yeah. But I do like the idea of getting up early, Leia, like you do. I haven't got the the commitment to myself to do it.
It's okay. I still have to get to exercising as regularly as you do. So we'll do a swap at some point.
Yes, well, I'm not exercising as much as I should be either. But I'll get back into
Whatever
it.
works. Whatever works.
Exactly. Yeah. Just don't beat
No
yourself up.
pressure. No pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. This was a nice one again.
Yeah, that was fun.
That wraps up this episode of Our Table Talks. Thanks for joining us on today's topic.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with a fellow artist or art enthusiast.
We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below, and if you'd like to leave us a message, you can find all our links in the show notes. We'll see you next time.